You're listening to Steel Chrysler and Halifax Chrysler Mooseheads hockey from the Civic Center in Charlottetown. And the Halifax Mooseheads have a 2-0 lead after 20 minutes here. My guest in the first intermission, Mooseheads defenseman Josh Desmond. Josh, pretty good finish to the period. 2 quick goals, 37 seconds apart.
Yeah, the game was pretty even all the way through except for the last 5 minutes there. The boys really put some pressure on, and you showed with the 2 goals. Just boys going hard to the net, and we preached about that all the goals can't be pretty. And going to those spots where around the net and where we have to dig and get those ugly goals to win these playoff games coming up.
Josh, tell me a little bit about, it's been a long season. That's the way it is. 68 games, and this is it. The regular season comes to a close, and sometimes players can become a little less interested unless something's really on the line. Over the last couple of weeks, has that been an issue at all for the hockey club?
I don't think it's been an issue. I think we had a couple ups and downs, but overall we know going into the playoffs we have to play. It's a whole different season. We have to go into playoff mode, and the coach has been preaching that lately. And just like I said, just working that extra, I guess, push there to prepare for that. And the boys been doing that well, even controlling our emotions up and down. But so far, pretty good.
As we mentioned in the opening, this is by far a meaningless hockey game. Mooseheads will play either Moncton or Val-d'Or in the first round of the playoffs, and the Mooseheads need to secure at least a point here this afternoon to face Moncton. The players, are you starting to talk a little bit about who might be the first round opponent? Is that conversation ongoing?
You hear it every now and then, but really we're not that worried about it. We know it's playoffs, so all teams step up their game. And we just have to get in the right mindset and go into playoffs thinking that any team on any given day could be good, and we just have to be better than them.
So you don't have a preference as to whether it be Moncton or Val-d'Or. And I say that, and I think you probably know fully well, the team has had limited success, I'll call it that, against the Wildcats this year. I think the record is 3-1-1.
Yeah, well, we have to beat the better teams to win the Cup anyways, so might as well take on the Wildcats with the point here.
Yeah, again, that is yet to be determined. Again, we want to make it perfectly clear. That all depends on what happens here this afternoon. Playoffs, so often it seems that teams that have experience have success in the playoffs. And it's no secret the Halifax Mooseheads don't have a lot of players with a lot of experience. Of course, Cameron Critchlow, yes, and yes, Travis Randall, and there are a few other players that have tasted the playoffs, Alex Grenier being one. But do you think that is a factor?
I don't think it can be a factor, but like you said, we do have some good 20s that have had experience, and they're pretty good at stepping up in the dressing room and talking to us and letting us know that it is a whole different season and that we do have to go into it with a different mindset. And the boys, I feel like we are ready for it, and it'll be fun. And the experience, I don't think it's that big a factor, but we'll see.
When you look at your career, big game, playoff games, big games, have you feel you've been had enough experience in that area? Obviously, there's a big difference between the regular season and the postseason.
Exactly. Regular season, you can have ups and downs, but in the playoffs, if you have one of those games where you don't go into the game with the energy or the mindset again, then you could be out just like that. So. Back in Yarmouth last year, we made it pretty far in the playoffs and had a good run. But just like we said, we that one game went in overtime there, and one mistake cost us the postseason.
Just before I let you go, Josh, this year again, you've been in and out of the lineup. Pretty good numbers, all considering the amount of playing time you've had, and obviously, as we've mentioned with you and the rest of the Black Aces, so we call them the Black Aces if they're scratches, they want in the lineup every night, but that's not the case, and it's so important going into the playoffs that everybody's on the same page and no one's pulling aside or being selfish.
Exactly, yeah. Playoffs, you never know what's going to happen, especially with injuries, but it's good that we got Gillard back. He's going to be a huge key to our game, and just got to be ready every game, even if you don't know if you're going to be in or out. And just if you're out, then you got to keep your head up and cheer on for the boys and let them know that we're here and it's going to be a good game.
Steve Gillard, as you mentioned, first game back was Friday in Bathurst. We saw limited ice, probably about anywhere to 6 minutes of ice, and it looks like the coaches are taking the same route here this afternoon. But What's it mean? Again, not only do you get the 19-year-old D-man back, but he certainly is one of the leaders.
Yeah, he's one of our leaders, of course, and I roomed with him the other night, and he's just trying to get his timing and stuff back right now, and he's just slowly working into that, getting his cardio, getting his timing, getting everything down. He's been out for 4 or 5 months now, so just working on all the little things, and eventually he'll be back up to his normal playing time and be a huge part to our team.
Josh, thanks for joining us here this afternoon, and we'll be talking again.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Okay, Josh Desmond, the Mooseheads defenseman, my guest here. We're going to take a